you ever loaded up ammo and, you know, maybe it shot great at one time, but, you know, you've had it sitting around. Maybe you're worried about bullet weld. Maybe you're worried that your seating depth changed. I had a friend call and say, hey, I've got some ammo that's like 4 months old. I loaded it up for a match. I'm thinking about, I don't want to pull the bullets, because when you pull the bullets, you kind of risk losing powder and things can happen. But he wants to know, and I've done videos in the past about this, but never quite with an actual test involved. And he said, hey, I want to be able to pull the bullets, but not all the way, and I just want to go to a new seating depth. Is it going to be affected? And I'll just tell you, if somebody asks me that, I'm going to say no, it's really not going to be affected. I don't really think you get really any big change. I've done it plenty of times. I've never really seen much impact, but I've also never thrown it over a chrono or done like an actual, you know, one of my 100-yard tests with it, like I would do for like a seating depth or a powder test, something like that. So here's what we're going to do. Let me bring my bullet puller over. And let me pull my Magnum shell holder out and throw my 308 face in. And here's what we're going to do. I just happen to have 38 rounds. Okay, so I've got 38 rounds that are just sitting here. I loaded them up for a match. I just haven't used them. In fact, there's still dust. Still pretty dusty in there. Anyway, I'm going to take half of them, and I'm going to pull the bullets partially out, and then reseat them to the same seating depth, or at least should be really close. But point being, I'm going to pull it out, and then we're going to reseat them. So let's pull out. We got 34. We're going to need 17 of them. Okay. So let me just grab a loading block here. So we've got. And you probably can't see 100% of what I'm doing, huh? All right, let's at least come down here. All right, so we're going to do 17 of these. And, you know, a few of each will end up being blow-offs anyway. But what do I have? So I've got, I guess I miscounted. How did I miscount? 38. So 15, there's 17, this is 21. So there's 19, and there's 19, so I had 38. Yeah, I don't know. I'm an idiot. Anyway, so there's 19 and 19. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these up to the top. Okay. So these are going to be my old, and I know these shoot really well. Like I've shot some of these since. I know where my tune is on the gun. Like, it's a good shooting round. Okay, so what I do is I'm just going to make a top note and say old. Okay, so when this note's in here, that's old, and then new. Okay, and that's just a real easy way for me to break this up for when we do tests. Now, over here, if I come back to my actual press, so I'm going to put this in, I'm going to send this up. Okay. And again, make sure this is up, then the collet is the widest open. And I'm just going to grip this, and I'm just going to pull a little bit. And because of how this one works, I can actually pull the whole bullet, which, you know what, let's have some fun with it. I'll just pull the whole bullet and reseat it. That way it's under the worst conditions. My buddy happens to use an inertia puller, like one of these. And he just has it down to a science where he knows that he can tap 3 times and it moves it like 15 thousandths or something, and then he can push it back. But let's go ahead and just pull it. So you can see here, because when I do this, I'm not going to risk losing powder or anything like that. So I went ahead and did that, and then what I'm going to do is just drop the bullet right back on top. Okay, and then I'm going to put it back in here. Okay, see, no bullet. And these have been loaded for it's like 2.5 or 3 months I've had these loaded. And, you know, who knows? Maybe my data will show me something different. I'm not afraid of doing this, however. So I'm just going to load these last ones here, and then we're going to head to the range. and we'll see what happens. All right, 2 more to go. One and 2. So there we go. All right. So we're going to head to the range. See you guys in a minute. So this is test number 1. Again, 1.3 with a 0.38 mean radius. I mean, this is tight. Yes, this first round really threw off the ES. I don't know, it was like 2730 or something, or 27, I don't know, it was some ridiculously low first shot. But aside from that, it would have been a much tighter ES. In fact, if I look at my notes here, it is, so without that first shot in there, 2733, the ES would have been, what do we have, like 20 or something, 23. So it would have been a little tighter. But overall, tight group. And, again, shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, shot 4, shot 5, back and forth between old and then pulled. Very similar average speed. Yeah, the ESs were a little bit different. But again, keep in mind, like I said, it would have been like 20 something here. So, it is what it is for the first test. And then if we go to the second test, the group opened up just a little bit. You can see 3, but so see right here, I was aiming at a bad point of aim, and to be honest, these groups would have been a little tighter if I had been aiming at a different point because there was a little bit of fluctuation. I was good on the windage hold, but I had started the test in one position and sort of just committed to it. So there was a little fluctuation in my vertical, which is where this 2 came from. And but you look here again, our ESs came down, pulled and old average almost the same, so that's good. Test 3, same thing, ES, very similar on the averages, so that's good. And then where's test 4? And then test 4, this is where I shot 1, 2, 3, 4 by itself. Again, small group size, small mean radius with an ES of 8, and then the pulled ammo a little bit flatter, but still a 1.8 group with a 0.58, so almost identical mean radius, which is really one of the key indicators that I look for here is that mean radius. So both had low ESs, both had almost exact same speeds. So overall, what is this telling us? Well, to have this kind of mean radius, I mean, to have a mean radius that's a sixth of a minute, almost across the board for all of this, tells me that if you're in a situation where you have ammo, whether it's ammo you just loaded, or in this case, this is ammo that's whatever, 2 or 3 months old, where I've pulled the bullets and then reseated it, you should feel very confident that you could pull this, reload it to a new dimension. Maybe, your throat grew and you need to lengthen it, whatever it is, like we talked about in the beginning. To me, this just says have full confidence in it. That's me. Maybe your mileage varies, but I think this is a pretty good test, and I think it shows what's possible. So, thanks for watching as always. Have a good one. We'll talk later.